Welcome to Coffee with the Mayor. I'm Deb Vitrelli, and we are broadcasting live from the top of Tampa Bay in beautiful downtown Oldsmar with our host, Oldsmar Mayor Eric Seidel. These segments are featured each Wednesday following an Oldsmar City Council meeting for the community. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm bright and cheery. How are you?
I'm bright and cheery, too. We didn't have a late meeting last night, so it was good.
Make you day then, isn't it? So before we begin, we encourage our viewing audience to submit any questions they might have during the segment by commenting on our Facebook live feed, and we will do our best to try to get your answers. But just in case we don't, you can always email Mayor Seidel at eseidel@myoldsmar.com regarding anything we discussed today. So Coffee with the Mayor was developed by you to keep our residents, businesses, and community partners informed on highlights from last night's council meeting. Were there any interesting comments during Citizens Open Forum?
Sure, there were. We had a few. It wasn't as long as it's been in some recent meetings, but Mayor Beaverland was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he went less than 5 minutes. He made a point of telling me that he was going to do that. Most people know that he has written multiple books on the history of Oldsmar,
right,
and other books, by the way. And so what he's been working on as a project is combining them into one comprehensive book. And so he was there last night sharing with us what the different chapters cover, and it's pretty interesting. So we're looking forward to getting the final product as he's putting it together. And so he was there. It's good to see the mayor always. There was somebody else who came and expressed concerns about an ordinance that was recently adopted regarding bicycling with kids doing wheelies.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think they had the full story because they were concerned that we passed an ordinance that essentially said if you do a wheelie on the street, a deputy can take your bike.
Oh, dear.
And that's not really the case. And if the language does, in fact, spell that out, then we probably should make an adjustment to it. But the intent of that, some might remember we had some complaints from citizens.
Oh, yeah.
That there were kids being reckless. And when I say reckless, I don't mean doing wheelies, because when I see them doing it, I stop and check it out. It's like the kid in me. I can't. I'm impressed, right?
I wish I could do that.
Yeah. And so, but it's when they're riding and playing chicken with a car.
Yeah.
Or they're riding towards a group of kids and these types of things. And there's a process that the deputies go through long before they would ever confiscate someone's bike. So, but they were there expressing their concerns, and hopefully we'll kind of spend a little time working on that. The Upper Tampa Bay Education Foundation were there. The Upper Tampa Bay, I don't know if
it is Education Foundation.
I thought it was Chamber. Chamber's not in that. Okay.
They're part of it, but
they're part of it. Okay.
It's a nonprofit, yeah.
It just didn't sound natural to say without
it's
Chamber.
Weird. Yeah.
But they were there. Susan Oliver and Gerald Jacobs were there, and they're promoting the foundation, all the good things that they do. For those who aren't familiar, they give away grants every year. Many years ago, they were established with an endowment that allows them to continue to make grants. And so they're raising money. They do this every year. And they have a project going on right now where you can win 2 tickets to the Bucks and Dolphins game. As they were pointing out, the games are all sold out.
Yeah.
And Nielsen donated the tickets, which they're good tickets then.
I bet they are.
Yeah. And so you can go to utbef.org to learn more. I thought it was pretty cool, so I wanted to. But that was about it.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I know last night the city was awarded the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. So can you tell us a little bit more about this award?
Sure. It's presented by the Government Finance Officers Association, and it's for the fiscal year 21-22. It's the 8th consecutive year that we've won the award, which is quite an accomplishment.
Jeez.
And it's the highest recognition in government for budgeting. And it's not just budgeting in the sense of, hey, their numbers added up.
Yeah.
Right? It's essentially the budget document that they put together is fantastic. And I was saying last night, we've kind of come to expect it. We're so spoiled. And if there's anything you want to know about our finances, any questions you have about how the finances work and the difference between an enterprise fund and the difference between, ad valorem taxes and how those revenues are used, everything is in this document, and it's user-friendly. And so they were recognized once again as the best of the best. We're really proud of them. They did a great job. It's a commitment that the leadership in that department takes on. And Cindy does a terrific job, and the whole team there. And so we're proud of them. The city should be proud, too.
Definitely. I mean, but budget is year-round. I mean, it never stops for them.
Yeah.
And it's just ongoing.
Yeah, it's ongoing, and the way that it's managed is very professional.
Yes.
So, and I come from a background of running a public company for 10 years, where scrutiny on numbers and everything. You come into this, and it's like, wow, I feel like it's a public company the way it's run. So they do a terrific job. Very proud of them. Good job, team.
Wonderful. So an Oldsmar resident was presented the Council Manager Award last night. Who received this award?
Kelly O'Brien.
Aw.
Well deserved.
Was Fallon there?
Fallon was there, and of course Rob was there. You
Yeah.
know, and you get with those folks, you get 3 for 1.
No doubt.
You know, and they sign up and they do stuff. They do so many things in the community. And Kelly, it's funny. I see her everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Working on this, working on that. And Councilmember Graber, it was his first presentation, by the way.
How'd he do?
Did a terrific job.
Good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I might have to stop calling him a plebe as a new guy. I don't know. He was impressive. But summarizing all the activity that she does was just amazing.
Wow.
It's like nonstop. She's a volunteer. She's a mentor here. She's doing all these different things. And it was really nice to see her get recognized. I didn't realize how many different degrees she has. She has 2 masters, a doctor's degree. It was funny. I said, everybody who feels inadequate, raise their hand. Most of the room raised the hand. I made a joke. I said, and those who didn't raise a hand doesn't know what it means. So anyhow, but she was well deserved, and it was a nice presentation. And so congratulations, Kelly. We're grateful you're here in Oldsmar.
Nice to have a resident like that.
Yeah, indeed.
A presentation was provided to council on the recommendations from the Charter Review Committee. So what are the next steps for the recommendations?
Well, before I talk about that, let me just thank the Charter Committee.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Right? Because Sandy Grimes chaired it, and Paula Saraki. I have joked before, our 6th council member, because she's always there chipping in. She does terrific stuff for the city. She was vice chair, and their committee, 5 different meetings working on this. The charter is, of course, our constitution, for lack of a better word. So it's a very important process, important document, and they did a great job. Last night, we approved by 5-0 vote all of their recommendations. Mostly housekeeping stuff. One of the recommendations I personally like the best is changing the review process from every 5 years to every 10 years.
Makes
It's much
sense.
more practical, in terms of both the charter and the ordinance review committee, because it's a big task. But yeah, so it got approved 5-0. What happens next is we essentially have instructed the city attorney to go back. He'll create different items to go to a public hearing. Mm-hmm. Instead of it, we won't present it all as one. It'll be broken out by their recommendations. That has 2 public hearings. If it passes both those public hearings, then it will go as a referendum onto the ballot in March. And if the citizens approve it, then it will change our charter.
Okay.
And so that's where it's at right now, but they did a terrific job, and we appreciate their hard work on it. But let's see, I expect it'll be on the ballot in March.
Democracy at its finest.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go.
A public hearing was held to adopt Resolution 2021-16, establishing a tentative millage rate of 4.05 mils for fiscal year 2021-22. Was this adopted?
Passed 5-0.
Hey.
It's the 30th, somewhere around the 30th year that we've not increased our millage rate here in the city of Oldsmar.
Is that unheard of across the county?
I'm not sure, but I'll tell you, I don't think there's many who can say that.
Yeah.
We've actually lowered it a couple times. I was on council when we lowered it twice.
Wow.
And I'll tell a little story. I don't know if I've told this before, but one of the times it was lowered, the state legislature, you had some situations in some cities where they kept increasing their millage rate.
Increasing.
Pretty dramatically, right? And this is across the state. And the legislature kind of put their foot down and said, okay, based on this, they came up with some requirements. If you're a city of this size, it might have been on, I don't know if it was population or ad valorem tax base, you can't have a rate higher than this. And they made cities go back and change their rates.
Wow.
It was a pretty dramatic time. The city of Oldsmar, we did have to lower ours, but it was like a fraction. I mean, it was like nothing. And that, to me, was a testament to past leadership. The city manager, Bruce Haddock, who was here for so many years, because it enabled us to, it demonstrated that we were always keeping it within what our needs were.
Not above.
Yeah. And so, but anyhow, so yeah, it did pass. It was its first reading, but I think that it'll probably pass its second reading as well.
Wonderful. Well, another public hearing was held to adopt Resolution 2021-17, establishing a tentative budget for fiscal year 2021-22. Was this adopted?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
it was adopted. It passed. No, we had no budget. Turn off the cameras. Mark, pack it up, buddy. No. Yeah, it was adopted. It was adopted 5-0. And, it's got all. I encourage folks who want more detail on any of these things we talk about, go to online to YouTube, look at our channel, pull it up. You can also go, which if you're interested, you should go to our website and look for the meetings and click on the meeting, and you can get all the detail behind the agenda that the council members get.
Right.
So it's the packet. Yeah. And so in any event, the highlights of the budget are in there, how it's allocated. I'm not going to go over it, but we approved another budget, so we're going to keep operating. It's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
You got a job, yay.
You're good. You're good for another year, Deb. Well, depends. You go back to this one camera stuff, I'm not sure.
So were there any other key items or actions from the council meeting or announcements?
Yeah, there was an item that the city manager spoke about, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. And I encourage folks to go to where I just mentioned, look at his report that he filed. But there was a complaint that we received from the sheriff's department. It was a sunshine law violation complaint that was filed by one of our citizens, Pam Settle.
Okay.
And it's centered around an accusation that the city didn't properly notify the public of meetings and agenda items in an attempt to hold a meeting in secrecy. And so it's a very serious complaint.
No doubt. Of
course. And, the minutes it was also a complaint that the minutes were delayed in being presented to the public. And as I mentioned before, we say this, and he reported on it in transparency.
Right.
So the citizens here, we heard about it. The sheriff's office investigated it, dismissed it with no merit. Anyone can go and request their report, either from the sheriff's office or from the clerk's office. It's available. And, I'll say this, if anybody thinks that there's something being done unlawfully here in the city, report it.
Please.
We want that. I mean, we're all here to defend that, okay? But what I would say to you is some of the disclosure laws, some of the public advertising laws, ask what they are first, right? Because the legislature sets what we follow.
Correct.
And so, and there are websites and things like that qualify as public advertising. And so what I would suggest is come in. If there's something you're concerned about, come in and say, listen, I don't think you're doing this properly. The city manager is happy to meet with you, or the city clerk in this case in particular, and show you what we do, how deliberate it is, how we follow these rules to the letter. And if you're not satisfied, then absolutely take the next step. Reach out to a council member who's elected to say, hey, I think, or the mayor, I'd love to hear it. I mean, I wouldn't like to hear it, but I would want you to report that. If you're still not satisfied, then absolutely go to the authorities. Because what happens is, in this case, it was dismissed, and the deputies spent time that they shouldn't. Detectives spent time on something that, probably could have been resolved just as fast. They came in and requested all the same stuff that a citizen could.
Yeah.
So we mention it. I'm not going to dwell on it a lot, but I do think it's important. that our citizens know when something like that happens. They don't have to hear about it through gossip.
Right.
We'll tell you about it.
Yeah. Come to the source.
Yeah, well, we'll tell you about it because it's transparent, right? I mean, that's the way it should be. I would want to know that. Like, what? Why didn't the city say something about it? Well, it was dismissed. If it was something odd where there was an investigation going on, probably at the request of the investigators, probably wait till it's over. But in any event, so that was something that was certainly worth mentioning today. And so there you have it.
And just a reminder on that point is the fact that you can sign up and get notifications when any agenda is posted out. It's right on our homepage.
Yeah.
Meeting notifications. Click on there, sign up, done.
Yeah, and I really encourage citizens to do that because it's convenient. It comes right to your inbox. Click on it, see if there's something you're interested in. And even within that, you can click right down to the details, the council packets that I referred to earlier, or you referred to. But it's definitely worth spending the time to go do that. I mean, it's really fun reading most of the time.
It is. I like it. I mean, I'm a government
Especially
geek.
the budget. I become a government geek. That's my wife. She's like, "What are you reading, honey?" I'm like, "I'm going through the budget." Wow.
Good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times. So we got any questions out there?
I don't see any. So, yeah.
No questions
No
today,
questions. Yeah.
huh? Oh, I got it. All
Yeah.
right. So, hey, listen, before we get out of here, just a couple of things. We have a new art exhibit that started yesterday. It's pretty cool. I loved it. It's called Women Who Work, and it's presented by the Women's Caucus for Art Florida chapter.
Oh.
And it's going to be here till November 5th. And it's different portraits of women who have made an impact through their efforts. And it's even got a interactive part where you can scan and listen to their story.
Oh, that's neat.
It's really cool. It's really cool. And, of course, the Sprite Park is reopening this Friday.
People cannot wait for that.
I know.
They're excited.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, we have the grand opening. And so that's exciting. We have a lightning ball hockey clinic September 12th from 9 to 12. Good Morning Oldsmar. I love this. This is coming. ABC Action News. As a matter of fact, they're here filming today. So ABC Action News, Friday, September 17th from 6 to 10 a.m. They are focusing in on Oldsmar. And they're shooting different video from all over the city right now. And so I'm looking forward to that. And they're going to be broadcasting live, I think, from Ariel's Park, aren't they?
Yeah, Ariel's. And then Sean Daly will be running around as well. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be fun. And then, of course, I should mention that our second meeting of the council in September has changed. It's going to be held on Wednesday, the 22nd, instead of Tuesday. And we have to do that so that the county's having their budget meeting, and we can't meet at the same time that the county has their budget meeting. And then, of course, this Friday, if you can believe it, second Friday again.
Already?
Chamber's putting on the second Friday
Dang.
right downtown, right here. So come down and have a good time. And my coffee is cold,
Well,
so
that's
that
not
tells
good.
you it's time to go. It's time to go. Thank you, Mark, behind the scenes, and Deb, always doing a great job. And for our citizens who tuned in today, enjoy. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, or maybe this Friday. Thank you.